Well, hi there, fellow Scouters. This is Matt Petrowski for Scout Tracker Videos. If you're a Scout leader or a Scout or anyone who's going to Philmont, if you want to set up a form to make it easier to order your Philmont T-shirts, this is the video for you. All right, so let's cover the basics. First off, we're not talking about a whole lot of people here. Of course, if you're sending a large contingent, if you have 12 members, a full crew, and maybe you have a sister crew, then that gets to be a little bit more data to manage than just 12 people if you're having a meeting. But regardless of how you're handling the process right now, it's always easiest to capture your data online and to basically capture it from all of your individuals. Now, you may be making the selection for everybody and saying, hey, we're going with blue and we're going with this design. Just tell me what shirt size you want. If that works for you, that works for you. Over at our troop, I like to make it really easy on people. And as you can see on screen right now, I like to use Google Forms. Now, the problem is when you go to the Tooth of Time Traders website, they provide you with the ability to order the shirts, but you can't really collect information from your crew. So it's really cool to be able to do that. So this is what I have. If we take a look at this here on screen, I've got Chrome loaded in the Chrome browser here. Now, I should mention, in this video, I'm working on a Macintosh, but everything that I show you here can work on Windows as well. You just need to know the equivalence to what I show on the Macintosh in order to replicate the same thing on Windows. Of course, if you really don't want to take the time and you're within the year 2017 when I shot this video, then basically you can use the link that I'll provide and just access the form, or I'll give you access to the form so that you can duplicate and make a copy. And I'll show you that in this video. So over here we have the Tooth of Time Traders website, and this is where you place your order. You of course need 5 weeks before you're going to arrive at Philmont in order to make sure that you get delivery of your shirts. Now, all of the information is provided by the Tooth of Time Traders. Designs may be different, etc. But this is where you can point users to if they wanted to make their selections and say, hey, I like this design number 4, this one right here. Or you can basically take all of the content that's here, put it into a Google form, and then just collect the data. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Over here, I have my Philmont order form, my Philmont shirt order form, I should say. That you're going to see is right there. And basically what I've done is I've created a Google form. So if we take a look at that, we can see the Google form in the edit mode. Now in edit mode, you're going to have access to all of these features where you can set the color palette, the preview, you have settings, and then of course you have the send button link right here, which you're going to be able to email this to all of the people who are interested and want to provide the information. Now, in the course of this video, let me show you how I actually composed or borrowed the information from Tooth of Time Traders so that I can make it easier for my scouts in order to make their selection. Now, first off, you of course need their full name. You're also going to need their shirt size right there. And those are your 2 critical pieces of information. But it's also nice to give them the option to actually choose from the different design styles and the different shirt types. So that's what I've added into this form. In fact, let's take a look at the form as a user would use it. So over here I have another tab, and when you're working in Google Forms, if you've not worked within it before, it's very easy to create a form. I'm going to show you how I did it here in this video. Really quickly, I simply went to the New option. I went to the More, and then I choose on Google Forms. When I choose Google Forms, it's going to allow me to create a new form. Now, I want to save you some time, so I'm going to make an invitation that if you'd like to access this form, you can request edit access using the link that's in the show notes on this video, or underneath. I will then share this to you and show you how to make a copy. In fact, let me do that now. In order to make a copy, once you have edit access rights to the form, and the reason that I'm not just sharing this publicly is because if anybody watching YouTube would be able to access this, then they could just mess it up and do all kinds of changes. I imagine that may happen on accident, but I'm going to give you a link that you can view the form, but you have to request edit access and have a valid Google account. Now, once you get edit access, you're going to want to do this. Click on the button right here, and then this is the option that you want to choose. Make a copy. This will make a copy of this form into your own Google Drive, and that's where you'll be able to use it. Now, the key is, if you're watching this in 2018 or 2019 or any year other than when I shot this, which was 2017, all of the design styles are going to be a little bit different. How did I get the design styles and all of the pictures from the Tooth of Time website into the Google form? Really pretty easy. When we look at anything on a web browser, of course, we can access the individual image. I could select this image and I can right-click it and actually choose from these options right here, save image as or download image. But that really isn't very conducive because each one of these is an individual image. So for me, what I did is I actually zoomed the browser up and used my operating system in order to take a capture of that. Now again, on Windows, you're going to have to research how you do this. It's probably a really easy Google search. You're just going to search for capture portion of screen, Windows, or something to that effect. On the Macintosh, all I did was I zoomed in on the browser. Now that I do it with the keyboard commands, but you can probably find it under the View menu. There we go. Zoom in and zoom out. So look for those within your browser. Once you access those, you can zoom in, as I'm doing right now. You can see that it's zooming in to a very large percentage right there. I zoomed all the way in till it actually looked good on my screen. Then I used a screen capture. So on the Macintosh, that's Command-Shift-4. So by doing that, you can see that it turns into those little crosshairs, and then I can marquee around everything that I want to capture. Once that capture is taken, it's saved to your desktop, and then you're able to actually get that into your Google form. So what makes this really nice is over in my Google form, if you're going to make a duplicate or a copy of this form, you can of course replace images with the images of whatever year it is that you're in, unless it's 2017. So all I have to do is select this image right here. I have these additional options. I can add hover text if I want to, but this little option right here allows me to change the image. So when I click, up a dialog will come and I'll be able to actually select the new image or just drag it into this area and replace it with a newer year. So in other words, you don't have to take a lot of time and replicate this form if I give you access and you make a copy. You can just use it year after year or for however many times that you are going to attend Philmont. So let's take a look at how the form actually works. Over in the form, we of course have the full name, then we have the last name. Let's go ahead and fill it out. So I'm going to say Bob Wonderful, and my shirt size is a large. And I like design number 4. And I like design placement of the front chest and the back. And here's what I did. I split the form up into the two options that Philmont provides, or the Tooth of Time traders. It allows you to choose from the two different shirts. Now you can limit the choices to however few or however many you want. It's completely up to you. Here you can see that I'm choosing a microfiber, and I give them information about the prices, etc. And I choose next. Now microfiber only has 4 colors, and then we have 6 colors on the polyester. So here I take them to this subsection of the form. So again, if you've not worked with Google Forms, extremely powerful for working within your scouting unit for being able to collect all types of information, even something as simple as this form. So I'm going to choose the Columbia Blue, and then I'm going to click Submit. So now that I've collected all of the information from all of the participants who are going on the trek, it's really a pretty easy thing to do to go over to the original form if you're the owner or have edit access. And you can see right here on this section of responses where I can click to see all of the respondents who have responded to my form. This is what's wonderful. You can see a list of all of the names of everyone who has responded, knowing who hasn't responded. But as you scroll down, Google gives you these wonderful charts that gives you a very quick way to determine what's the most popular and actually make your decision. So I can see on shirt sizes, I've got most of them are large, but I don't really care about that in terms of the pie chart here. But on this shirt design, I can see that it looks like number 4 is actually winning in this particular fake submissions that I have going on here. Design placement, pretty even spread right here, but most of them are going to front, chest, and the back. And then finally, under shirt type, looks like most people want the microfiber. But now let's compare. Because we actually capture the microfiber colors, since they're different from the polyester colors, we sort of need to correlate between the two and actually look at what's the more popular colors. So over here, Columbia blue is a pretty big winner. And then down for the polyester, it looks like we've got purple is dried sage. Now, if I go look at those, I'm going to have to go with one or the other. And in this case, I would probably decide to go with the Columbia blue. Long story short, given that this may be a longish video to you, we now have our information in order to go over to the Tooth of Time Traders website, submit our order, and be able to do it in a fashion where everybody got to have their say and basically be able to get the shirts that the pack would like, or the troop would like. All right, so let me give you a few little tips about using Google Forms and when you're going to transfer information. Number one, don't ever hand type something in that you can copy straight from the browser. When we take a look at the form over here that I'm editing, and as we scroll down, and we have all of these different options. Actually, we want to be on this tab right here, where I can edit my questions. You can see that I have the sections of the microfiber shirts and the polyester shirts. Now, you can, based on a selection, you can see right here, if they choose microfiber, I can go and target that section. So this is an option in Google Forms that you can use right down here at the bottom, where you choose this, and you can choose the option, I need to zoom out and zoom back in there, of go to section based on answer. This is a very good way to use Google Forms to direct people based on what they choose. And really all you have to decide is where do you want that choice to be within the form. I tend to find that putting it at the end of a given section makes it really nice, because that's where you can see we've got the order form, we go full name, shirt size, then the design details, which applies to both shirts, that's universal. Then once we get to the very end where we're actually choosing the shirt type, that's where we're directing them and making the fork between which direction they want to go, the section on microfiber or the section on polyester. And the number two tip that I should have is the one that I mentioned at first, which is don't hand type anything that you don't need to type. For example, all of the design colors, they're already over here on the Tooth of Time website. All I did was go over here to the proper section. So in this case, I'm on the polyester. Let's take a look at that. So here I made it a point to capture an image that included the names themselves. I didn't just capture the images. But in order for the user to make a selection, it's much easier for me to simply highlight, like I did right there, copy it, and then just simply go over, select, and put it in my options. Remember, when you're on the computer, anything that's already been entered somewhere, PDF, web page, no matter what, you don't really need to type it again. Just copy and paste. It's really pretty easy. And finally, if you don't know how to actually set up the form in order to capture the responses, it's a really easy thing. Responses will be captured in the background no matter what, but if you want to reference the data within a Google spreadsheet, it's really easy. You select on the Responses tab that we have right here, and once you've selected on that, there's going to be this little link right there, and it's basically gives you the opportunity to create a Google Sheet. Now what will happen is each submission will go into a Google Sheet. And here's the great thing about using Google Forms and Google Sheets. Not only does it allow you to capture and store the data, but you can also archive the data so that year after year, in this case, you probably have to go through the Philmont lottery and maybe you're not going until another 2 or 3 years. But all you have to do is down at the bottom where you see the sheets, select on the sheet itself and choose the duplicate option. You can duplicate that sheet, and in effect, what you're doing is you're archiving the data into another sheet. So if I choose duplicate right now, I'm going to have a duplicate down at the bottom. Then what I can do is I can double click within that area, identify it as 2017, for example. And then all I have to do in order to clear my data is basically go over to the form, choose the responses, choose the little options, and then you can see right here down at the bottom that we can delete all responses. Now, just because you delete all responses doesn't mean that they're gone from the spreadsheet. I'll delete all the responses here. Well, I won't do that just in case I want to shoot another part of this video. But basically, once they're deleted from that point, I would then go into the spreadsheet, go to the first sheet, which is actually collecting the data, then select all of the rows and simply right-click and choose to delete those rows. So I've now deleted the responses from the form, and I've also deleted the responses from the spreadsheet that captures them. But I have that copy because I duplicated the sheet, making it really nice for myself to go back and reference that historical data, but still be able to use the form for a following year. So, what do you do once you've captured all the data? Well, of course, you head back to the Tooth of Time website, you put in all of your information, you place your order, make sure you meet the minimums, put in all of your information, your troop, your city, your state, place your order, and you're good to go. So this has been Matt Petrowski for Scout Tracker Videos, producing all kinds of videos about the scouting activity and things that you do within scouting, trying to help you out. If you have any suggestions or any feedback, please leave them in the comments below. If this video has helped you out at all, please consider subscribing, and you can click the little bell if you want notifications each time I release new videos. And at the very minimum, if you got anything out of this video, why don't you give me a thumbs up? All right, hope this video helped out, and until next time, see you later.